Hey everyone, as always, Dylan Miller Prospecting. Welcome to another Tuesday Night Gold Panning Live, episode number 219. And in a little bit, we'll be going through some John R. Prospecting Paydirt. This is unsearched Paydirt and no gold added. So it's just going to be going through some dirt and see if we can find some gold. But let's catch up on chat. I saw John was here earlier. But let's see, open this up. Yeah, John, thank you for being here to go through your Paydirt. Weezen, thank you for being here and being a mod. I got to turn my phone off. Lucky Strike Paydirt, how's it going? Julie, you need to stop hurting your legs, Julie. Hopefully you're doing well. Oh, Julie. How long are you going to be out, Julie? HD, thank you for joining the show. Appreciate it. Kristen Reed. That's some horrible weather. Package Total, how's it going, brother? Triplet Dad, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. I appreciate it. Mark Sheldon. Donna, how are you, Donna? It's been a little bit. How are you doing? Are you feeling well? Hopefully you're doing good and just too busy to come hang out with us. John Myers, how's it going? John Gear. Bill Snodgrass Adventures, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. Appreciate it as always. Sean McClelland. Let's see who else is here. Mr. Meanleaf, Miss Independent. How's it going? From a special spot. All right. Chat just jumped a whole bunch. Stephen LeBlanc, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. I appreciate it. Trying to keep up on chat as well. Ayad, I got your package in, Ayad. Thank you very much for that. It's all sitting on my dresser while I figure out places to put stuff. But thank you very much. I have some really cool stuff. And you know, I really appreciate it. Mike from Gold Vlog or Gold Nugget Sales tonight. How's it going, Mike? Rum Barbecue, how's it going? That sounds like good. Rum Barbecue? I think I got everybody. If not, Mentally Corrupted, how's it going? I'm sure I will catch everybody up tonight, but I appreciate everyone being here. Shane Perthero, how's it going? Chat is going a little bit too fast for me right now. Brian in the Twin Coins, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. Here, let me pop out chat so I can get it to hopefully stabilize a little bit. Yeah, I did, John. I did. I got them. I just got them in today. So I got them in today. Thank you very much for those. Here, let me see. Yeah. All right, let me go. Yeah, let me get that. But yeah, I got them in. I like them. I will say I like the white one, this one, the best. I will show everyone. These are John's stickers he sent me. And I like that white one better than this one with the red border. And then I wasn't a huge fan of this one, even though I know this is probably going to be the most popular one for the John R. Prospecting. And the reason being is this one is looks way too AI generated. And this one, the reason why I like this one the best is because of the pick and the shovel. More specifically, the shovel. If you look at them all, the shovel is a double-ended shovel, and that's a typical mistake by AI. If you ask AI to make a pickaxe and a shovel, it will almost always make the shovel double-sided. It can't render in, for whatever reason, the handle on a shovel. And it's more prominent in this one and this one. So, in this one, it kind of looks like a handle in it just because it's kind of faded out and you can't really tell. 308 Prospecting, how's it going? Ortiz, how's it going? Jason G, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. Banana Splits, how's it going? Outfitter, how's it going? John Feeler, how's it going, John? Thank you for joining the show, and thank you for being a brand new Patreon member. I appreciate it. Andy Casey, how's it going? And again, if I miss somebody, I apologize. Brian, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. Chat is getting, when I try to catch up, it hops a little bit too much for me to catch everybody. But just keep yapping in chat, and I'll catch up to everybody. But I think I got everybody now. Yeah. We'll say we got everybody. Mega Silver Stacker, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. Imagination to Form. Yeah, I almost forgot. Every Tuesday is like my hardest day. I don't know why, but I'm always tired on Tuesday. I always sleep bad Monday night. So Tuesday, I'm always really tired. I took a nap today, and I did not want to wake up. I was like, who needs a live show? They've seen my ugly mug enough. So, and it probably has to do with the fact that I don't drink coffee on Tuesdays until the live show. So I wait until the end of the day. So it just makes it harder. I don't get the, maybe I should start drinking like tea in the morning or something, just something warm to wake up. So, that's awesome. So yeah, but we're going to be going through some John R. Paydirt today. And to be honest, John, I love this sticker. It's the one, it's kind of one of those things where you get used to it. It's the sticker I'm used to seeing on your channel all the time. But whichever one you like best, I mean, I don't know. I'm going to put two of them on my door. I don't know if I have this one. I might already have this one on my door. I'll have to look at it. If I remove, I have no idea what I'm going to do with that door. I might have to try to peel all those stickers off and replant them somewhere by stick glue or something. Package will be delivered tomorrow. Awesome. That's awesome. Thank you very much. Maybe not tomorrow. My mailman is kind of sus at times. Yeah. Even though they'll say it's getting delivered, it'll just sit around. Yeah, Carg. Lucky Strike sold out of everything, which is really good. It's good when sellers sell out. That just means that they can invest more into their Paydirt and, buy more gold and put out more bags. So auction the door off. I know. I think about it all the time. Like, like if I ever have to move my studio, like what am I going to do with like the door and a couple things and, it'll just drive me crazy because, I'm used to this background and anything I change will obviously kind of be similar. But there's also things I don't like about my current shelving. Like drives me crazy that these aren't all the way, both sides. And I put these bookshelves in there for the Tuesday night Paydirts. I kind of wish the black shelving with these Paydirts, like these, weren't here. So you couldn't see them. So you couldn't see what's coming up for reviews. If it was just Paydirts that I collect, I would prefer that. So, and that they were also, a little bit higher and longer. I could fit more Paydirts in it. Bradley, how's it going? Hopefully you're not at the same hospital as Julie because she's in the hospital too. No, I don't know about all that. I appreciate the thought though, Mike. I think it has more to do with these good Paydirt. So, I need a big box. Yeah, I can tell you that will worry me if I ever like move, hauling all these Paydirt somewhere, and making sure, because I've actually had, I forget who it is, but two of these bags that are on this shelf, I've knocked over while I'm moving stuff and they've broken and I've had to, beg the people to send me new packaging. Luckily it was somebody that, is still around. It wasn't like the Lynch Mining or something that I can't replace. And I had to have them send me new packaging so I could repackage it up and put it back on the shelf. So I will worry about that as well. I'll have to make sure I bring like one of those boxes for glasses or something where it's got all the packing stuff in it. So I am Zaxxon. How's it going? And Donna, way too kind, Donna. Thank you very much, Donna. I really appreciate that as always. But yeah, today's going to be a shorter show. Last week was the long show. Sun's coming over today, so this is going to be a little shorter show. So we're going to get right to this. I was accent. That was a good one. Yeah, I'm really curious. So that's what I've said this before a few times. It's one of the problems where there's so many sellers out there, so many good sellers, that it drives me crazy that I can't review them as often as I like. So this year I'm going to really try. I already wrote up a lot of my planned reviews for the year, and I wrote a note, and I actually have it sitting on my desk on a big note right on my laptop that I need to rechange my plans for the rest of the year, because I had a lot of battles, but a lot of them were with old Paydirt sellers that I don't think, warrant reviews, because I don't think they're keeping up in their game. I will just say one of them was with Gold Bay. I had a battle with Gold Bay, and like that one, I just, while Gold Bay has been putting out some awesome Paydirt with the Hard Rock, which was really great Paydirt with that Hard Rock, he's also not very, he hasn't been changing much over the last 3 years, and they have a lot of new sellers. So I need to start doing some reviews, battling some of the new sellers and trying to get them in there. So I need to refigure out some Paydyrts, because there's a lot of good sellers out there, like Bobby Nugget. When I first reviewed him, I don't think he was that good. I don't remember the score. I mean, I know he got a decent score. I thought he was a decent Paydirt, but he has stepped up his game. He lowered his prices significantly, because I think that was my problem with Bobby Nugget, was that you could buy him on Amazon cheaper than you could his website, which didn't make sense, because Amazon takes 20% of what you sell, 20% off the top, whereas a website you lose maybe 2.5%. So I'm glad to see that he's lowered his price. Then we have, Lucky Strike Paydirt. We have Gold Putts. There's a lot of new sellers out. So, and there's a lot of great sellers, Gold Nugget Sales, Vendetta, that I like, Vendetta, I don't think I reviewed him at all last year except for the championship. And Gold Nugget Sales, I think I reviewed him once. So I need to figure out a way to review a lot of these sellers more often. So yeah, I love Vendetta. Vendetta is probably one of my favorite Paydirt vendors to pan out. Gold Nugget Sales is one of my favorite vendors, because I think he's got just the best products. He puts out a ton of products. So yeah, and only buy bags with guaranteed gold. Yeah. I will say one thing. I thought it was kind of funny. I got, I always, I always get haters in my comments whenever I review Clash if I don't give them a good review. And it was funny, of course, none of them, like, both of my Clash videos came out back to back. They were both on the same day. They both released within 15 minutes of each other. And I got a lot of negative comments on the Fool's Gold one. But I did recommend his hard Paydirt. I did recommend it and say I think people should buy it, his Impossible bag. And if you watch one and you're negative about it, why aren't you negative about the other one too? I just found it weird that they would say, But one of the funniest comments I got was somebody said that his excuse was like, oh, you can't be mad at Clash because he tells you not to buy it. But the whole thing is, if you don't want somebody to buy your product, don't put it up for sale. It's that reverse psychology. If you put something up for sale, you obviously do want people to buy it, or you wouldn't put it up for sale. It took him time to make bags. It took him time to design bags. It took him time to stuff the bags with dirt, put the stuff in it, seal it, make a video about it, put it on his website. He spent all that time and then tells you he doesn't want you to buy it. No, if he didn't want you to buy it, he wouldn't put it up on the sale. So it was just the funniest excuse. It's like, it's reverse psychology and people are falling for it. Like, oh, he said he didn't want to buy it, so don't buy it. But I love variety. Yeah, I love variety. Brian in the Wisconsin Coins. I'm at Chamberlain and Cartwright. Well, there you go, brother. Ginger Wolf, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. Jeffrey Button, thank you for joining the show. Appreciate it. Appreciate everyone that's here tonight. I really do. Like I said, this is going to be a shorter show, I think. This is a very packed bag, so it's going to take us a while to go through. So let's go do that at 6:15. Let's go open this up, check it out. Rogue of Gold from Bear Prospecting. What? I haven't seen that one. Hold on. Let me go. Bear Prospecting. Let's see this. Oh, the Rogue Black Bear. Yeah, hold on. Oh, I'll have to add that to next year's battle if they're still selling it. We'll have to see. Oh, that's awesome. That sounds like a good bag. I remember I saw it, and they didn't have it in stock for long. I don't remember. But yeah, I'll have to add that to my list of hard Paydyrts. So, but all right, let's shrink down the ugly mug. Start doing some panning. Yeah, there we go. There's the murky water we're starting with because I didn't feel like cleaning out my sink before the live show. So we're going to start panning. Hopefully, John, your Paydirt isn't too hard. Hopefully it doesn't murk up the water too much. All right. But there we go. Some semi-clean water. Open up chat. Oh, that sucks, Jeffrey. Yeah, I remember when I was younger, when I was like 23 or 24, I remember I had something. I don't even remember. It's been so long. I'm so old. But yeah, I had to do the whole thing where they were sending me to doctors and, covering my back with the little diddy dots to see what I might have been allergic to. Yeah, it feels wet in the bag, so yeah, it's gonna be wet, and I'm sure it'll be dirty, which is another reason why I didn't change out my water. So it's probably just your IBS. I get that every once in a while, and it's bad. Like I'll get it probably once every 3 months, and man, it just delivered like on my side the whole time. So I'll just say I'm on my third repan and still finding gold I missed. Really? All right. I will definitely here. I need. Oh no, I did not bring a piece of paper with me today. All right, here I have to. Let me email myself a note really quickly. Let's see. There we go for bear prospecting. All right, we got the note up. Let's start panning. There we go. Allergic to morphine. Well, hopefully you never need morphine. That's only bad if you ever need it. I've had a few surgeries. I've had knee replacements, and I haven't had to have morphine at this point yet. So, Dina, how are you? Thank you for joining the show. Scarlett Davis, thank you for joining the show. Appreciate it. Let me open up my tablet. I forgot to charge my tablet, so hopefully it makes it through the whole show. Yeah, that's the one thing about leaving a tablet in your basement for only live shows is you tend to forget to charge it. And I don't like leaving things just charging all the time, especially in my basement where if it caught fire, I wouldn't know. Open up YouTube. The ever famous Miller Prospecting. There we go. Oh, great. I got a commercial. Well, while I got a commercial, I'm going to open up the Paydirt. Put the pan in. There we go. Yep, it's definitely dirt. I mean, it's definitely wet. It's obviously dirt. Most definitely metally corrupted. All right, we're gonna rinse out the bag in a little bit. What's up, Wes? Thank you for joining the show. So here's the material. I have to redo my tablet because for whatever reason, it just will not open up. Like, see, there's my tablet. It will not open up the live stuff. Oh my gosh, this is going to drive me crazy. There we go. Okay. I don't know why it's always like the third time I have to reload it to get it to open up chat. Let me see. Will it fit in here? There we go. Yeah, bear prospecting has been sold out for a while, and they're going to do a show in like 2 weeks. They're doing a show in Ohio in like 2 weeks. So they're going to be sold out until they get back. So bear prospecting is going to be sold out for at least like I think 3 weeks. So yeah, a lot of sellers are sold out. It's hard. It's actually pretty hard to get gold right now, which is surprising. You know, when gold first started creeping around 5K for the first time, people were selling gold like crazy. But now that it's kind of settled down and staying right around 5, up and down, but by 5, not as many people are selling. I think people are just waiting for another giant up, you know. Crash, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. All right, let's start. Just do a little bit to see what it does to the water. Ah, it's that shiny, shiny stuff. The elves have been leaving little things in here. My gold right now is baseball cards. I used to really like Pokemon cards with my kids. I loved going through Pokemon cards with my kids. I think my kids still have a couple PSA graded Pokemon cards, but we sold off all the rest of them. They kind of got out of it and stuff right there. But yeah, a lot of mica. Yeah. No, it's not too bad for the water really. When you first put it in, it kind of, you know, pretty silty, but it's settling pretty quick. So Andy, I like pay streak prospecting, but the only problem with pay streak prospecting is they're kind of erratic with their ROIs. Like, you know, like I understand why some sellers, you know, there's an Andy K on eBay who doesn't have any guarantees for his Paydirts, but he has good ROI. So they're kind of the same thing, but their ROIs are a little bit more erratic. So with prospecting with them, you'll usually get anywhere from a 50% to a 100% ROI. So I think they kind of scale it. Like, I don't know exactly how they do it, but I used to pan them out a lot. Like, they used to actually be the Paydirt I used to do off camera a lot. You know, like if I wanted to buy a couple bags just to pan on the side and I had a secret shopper buying stuff, I would have them buy like 3 or 4 bags from them. And that would be my off camera panning. Because I like most people, you like that no guaranteed Paydirt because there's more of a surprise with it. So I always found that it was like I said, you get the 50% to the 100% ROI. Where you might get, you know, 50% one bag, 70% the next bag, 90% the third bag. So I think they vary their gold up a little bit. But I've never gotten a skunk bag, I'll say that. I've either gotten really good bags or average bags from them. So that's what I do with my eBay stuff. Like I said, 90% of my eBay stuff is selling stuff that I don't collect and buying stuff I do collect with it. So like if you look at my eBay cart is full of NGC slabs, like of stuff I want. Like I want a New Orleans for my kids collection. It's not stuff I actually collect, but I have some New Orleans mint what are they? Nickels, the 2021 Louisiana silver nickels. I have some of those NGC in my thing. Some Morgans, some Orleans Morgans. some gold 1/10 coins for the years my kids were born. Um, but yeah, then I'll sell stuff, and right now my eBay doesn't really have too much in it, so I need to add some stuff. I don't know if John does ever sell Paydirt. I mean, I've had people tell me, I've seen a lot of people saying they've panned out his material. I think mostly it's just trading. So there's some gold. So you won't be able to see it, but there's 1 piece, 2 piece, 3 pieces right there. But we're just going to add more. I don't want to add all this to a finishing pan for just 3 pieces of gold. Oh no, we don't want all that in there. That's too much. There, like that. Annie, how are you? Everyone was just talking about your rogue Paydirt, Bear Prospecting's rogue Paydirt. Now all y'all are out of stock. Zach Ashworth, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. Gold Putts, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. Bradley, no, I do not like goldbacks. Now, I know there are people that collect goldbacks. I know Gold Baron just started selling. Chris just started selling goldbacks, and I really like Gold Baron Paydirt. But I do not believe in goldbacks. I 100% think that they are a Ponzi scheme. I'm just not a fan of them. So, I mean, I understand. Like, I can see the novelty in like buying one of each. Like, I totally understand that. That's kind of the same way with like me with an NGC, like lower price slab nickels and things like that. Like the slab ruins any chance of me getting any money back out of it. For the next 50 years, collecting a $20 coin that's got a $30 slab on it doesn't make sense. So I understand like the goldbacks because they are really beautiful. So like if you wanted to say like I'm gonna get one of each just to put in like a display or from a collection, I could see it. But people that stack them, I just I don't know. Paying double spot price for something that you can't sell for double is just, I don't know. Some states, yeah. Some states don't use it as currency. Some places will accept it as currency. It doesn't mean there's a big difference. Like you can't walk into a Walmart with a gold back. It doesn't matter what state you're in. You can't use it as cash. You have to go to certain places that accept it. And the vast majority of places so far, in my understanding, is that most of the places that accept, there's a couple that have sticked around, but most of the places that start saying we accept goldbacks stop taking goldbacks after a certain point of time because it's just too much of a hassle. Like it's not 1-to-1. Like if it was like, okay, a half goldback is worth $20, it'd be easy. People could just walk in and say, okay, yeah, this is worth a $20 bill. But they have to go and calculate gold spot, look at gold spot, figure out what it is and all this. It's just too much trouble for them. So yeah, that's it. It's collect them. I mean, like I said, a lot of people love to collect certain things that are, you'll probably never get your money back on. Beanie Babies, Labubu's. There's lots of things. And my son came home the other day with his collection of that he's had forever of Mighty Beans, and he's like, "Oh, can you sell these for me?" And they're, back in the day when we first collected them 15 years ago, they were probably worth a little bit of money. Now they're really not. When I told him that, they're really not. But he enjoyed collecting them. So I understand that with goldbacks. Like I said, I think they're really cool looking. And I can totally see owning one of each, but stacking them now. Rocky Mountain, congratulations. That's good. Awesome, brother. Wife of a gold prospector, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. Appreciate it. Muscle Shell, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. Jimmy Licari, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. No. But I don't know. It's kind of like one of those business models where if you see it, if you look at how they've been doing goldbacks, it kind of makes it seem, like I said, like kind of like a Ponzi scheme. where they came out with the 1s, the 5s, the 10s, and then you kind of stop hearing about goldbacks. And then all of a sudden they pop up with a half, and you're like, okay, now they're back in the news a little bit. And then you're like, okay. Then they kind of fade away. Then they're like, oh no, now we're in a new state. And then all of a sudden they keep coming out with, and they don't come out with the whole lineup. Like they don't say, oh, we're in Arizona now. Now you can get a half, 1, 5, 10, 20. They kind of release them one at a time over several months just so they can get an influx of a whole bunch of people buying. Then they kind of move away to something else. So. Yeah, there is a hidden link if one of my mods want to drop a hidden link, and I don't know why Nightbot isn't telling you about the hidden link. Huh. All right, let's see if there's some gold. But yeah, if one of my mods want to drop the hidden link, I'd appreciate it. Oh, there's a little bigger piece of gold, John. Might be able to see it. Nice little piece of gold right there. What was the question? Hold on a second. Dirty Nugget prospecting, how's it going? So is it worth more if you had a 20 gold coin than a gold back? Yeah, I would. Real physical gold will always be better than a gold back. Every single time. Because you'll see, eventually gold back, there's only so many states that they're going to allow to do gold backs in. I mean, you're going to have certain states that just don't want it, And eventually when they run out of states, they're going to start pumping out, or once sales go down and it's taking them too long, they'll start putting out silverbacks, Because goldbacks, one, are just too expensive. It's just, which is why they came out with the half, because it was just too expensive people to get into collecting them. So... Next state of goldback will have a quarter. Yeah, probably. Like I said, it's one of the things where, spending $40 to have a $20 bill, it's just kind of people are like, it's just a very, like I said, it's the same, and also one of the bad things about a goldback, which I think is always going to be a real deterrent for them actually ever selling enough where they could technically start selling them cheaper, is the fact that before goldbacks came out, you had years and years of people flooding eBay with colorized dollars. Where you'd go to eBay and it'd be some gold-plated dollar bill or, gold-colored dollar bill that you'd spend $3 on just to find out that it was just a dollar, Where people are repainting, $5 bills and, colorizing them. And they had years and years and years of people flooding the market with that. So they have so many collectors over the years that just like when you looked at their collection, they'd have silver coins, gold coins. Then they'd have like 100 colorized dollar bills that were essentially worth $1, So then you get a gold back and you see a dollar gold back, you're going to think, oh, that's one of those colorized or gold plated dollar bills that's worth $1, Zinc backs, copper backs, yeah, all those things. Already have silver backs out? Really? Oh, I'm going to have to go look at those. I didn't know they actually had those out. Are they cheaper? Are the silverbacks like a lot cheaper? I wonder if they will get so desperate eventually they'll come out with paperbacks and it'll just be a dollar bill that they're rebranding and charging you $2 for. Like, hey, come get the, United States government paperback. Only $2 for a $1 bill. Modern Michigan, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. And thank you everyone for joining the show. I appreciate it. I'll have my mods every once in a while drop in the hidden link. Because remember, at the end of the show, we will be doing a pulling one name out of everyone who posts a comment on my hidden video, and the mods drop it, and you'll get a chance, if you're still here, to win a prize on my wheel of treasures, which does include gold and silver and copper and other prizes as well. So oh, Zombucks. Okay. Yeah, I've seen Zombucks before. Steph doesn't want to break up. Break up. Break up. There we go. So where'd you get this stuff from, John? Is this where your area, or is this somewhere you went and got it from? Is this like North Carolina material, or is it John R material? Because this is fun panning. It's moving pretty good in the pan. Not too much black sands. A lot of mica, but that's not too bad. It's sinking like it, water's staying pretty clear. Bear prospecting, how's it going? Tomcat Josh, how's it going? Thank you for dropping the hidden link. I'm gonna have to approve comments. Thank you, Ed. Let me do that right now. All right. All approved, and thank you very much for that. Man, I have been having the hardest time with YouTube. Yesterday I was doing I'm getting old. So I've been messing around with all my spreadsheets, changing things up, always just trying to change my reviews up. So I changed the layout for all my spreadsheets that I do my reviews on. And unfortunately, I don't know why, but I totally forgot to reset the calculator parts where it would calculate the ROI and stuff like that. And the other day when I was shooting the end video for the Lucky Strike Paydirt, I had it come out as 101%. And whatever reason, my brain would just not click that the numbers were wrong. So I posted the video. And as soon as I posted it, someone texted me, dude, math is wrong. And I was like, dang it. And this is the second time I did it. I did it with the gold putts as well. I messed up the ROI. And it's because I just never forgot to change it. So today I did go through all my spreadsheets and refix all the calculators on them. But then after I posted the video, I deleted it, reshot the ending, edited it, put it up there because it was only that one part I had to reshoot. So it was pretty easy to pop up there. And I put it up, and for whatever reason, YouTube would just not accept the new video. Like, it would not. It was driving me crazy. No. I'm kind of disappointed you have not done the product review you said you were going to about 3 weeks ago. It's coming up next Monday. The switchback, it's coming up next Monday. Yeah. Equipment reviews are just, it's something I need to work on probably, like, once it warms up and the weather's nicer and it's not like cold in my basement, I'm going to rebuild my area that I do my, because I have this studio here and it's all set up and nice and everything's set. But where I do my equipment reviews, it's not set up. It's just like a table and some buckets thrown in a corner. but I've never like run wiring because there's no wiring. So anytime I do stuff over there, I have to move lights, I have to move power and set everything up every single time. So I need to like, I have some lights. I have extra lights. I need to just mount them on the ceiling so they're permanently set in certain spots. So I don't have to, spend 30 minutes going back and forth with the lighting, trying to make sure the lighting is okay and stuff like that. So yeah, I know. So once I miss the day to shoot that video, it just takes forever for me to get back to it. But it is coming out. I've already shot the intro for it. So I just have to actually shoot the using it. So but yeah, so it'll be out Monday. Richard, all right, that's awesome. Dirty Nugget, how's it going? Thank you again for joining the show. Appreciate it. Too much material this time. I have 2 more vids to finish for February. Yeah, I need to get caught up on my videos. Like I said, I've been trying to change up because I always pre-plan my videos months and months ahead just because I have to have secret shoppers lined up, make sure I can get the product. So, but I've been kind of behind on that. So I need to, and plus I keep reworking what I'm gonna do because new sellers are popping up. Yeah, we'll have to see. Like the Clash Fool's Gold popped up, so I had to move stuff around and stuff like that. So I need to find some stable ones. So I need to reset my monthly video art plans to have like one stable where it's guaranteed to come out, and then I can put a couple rotating ones in there. So if something new comes out, I can move it. What's up, Jason? Thanks for popping in. Appreciate it, brother. I appreciate that. I always got to have my Patreon members pay their dues so they don't get blocked. There you go. Yeah, promote. Feel free to promote the gold show. Don't spam it, but feel free till the 7th and 8th. So next Tuesday, feel free to post it as well. If you have a link to the website, you can post the link, and one of my mods will approve it. But how's it been going, Jason? Been doing well. How's Circle going? Mr. Wizard. Oh, that should be a good one. Yeah, I have a bag of his Paydirt on my shelf. I think next month we'll be going through. I forget when, but I think it's next month we'll be going through one of the Tuesdays a Jason bag. Which should be fun. I always like all of the Jason's bags. All right, any more gold? Didn't see anything, so we'll add. Bot link is broken. Which link? The hidden link is working because I'm seeing people getting their comments in. Yeah. It does look like Nightbite is not posting. I don't know why he's not really posting his periodical stuff he's supposed to be doing, but that's awesome, Jason. So I'll just tell you here because I keep forgetting all the time to send you a message about it. But I was telling you I thought I found a kind of loophole in Patreon. So I'll just tell you here. So if anyone else has Patreon, they can think about this. I don't think anyone else has moved over to Circle. But Jason, one of the things that it says on Patreon that you can give away to your Patreon members is membership to another site. So technically, if you had a Patreon page, you didn't have to mention anything about giveaways or anything like that on Patreon. You just open a Patreon page and, you just leave it just the way it is. You don't advertise or anything else. People will find it just, the way they found it before. But, so say somebody joins the $12 tier on Patreon, you send them a message, an automated message. It's the great thing about Patreon is it has automated messages that say you've just been, got a free membership for Circle, and then you give them a membership to Circle for that month. And then on Circle, they have giveaways. So it would totally work around. Now they still might figure out a way to ban you, but you're essentially just giving a membership to Circle. So I don't know if there'd be a way to integrate that with Circle. So it would be, if they stopped paying on Patreon, you would know to shut them off on Circle. But just for those people that are like, because I'm sure any new platform, people don't want to join because they don't trust the new platform. But just my one idea about still using Patreon, but moving everyone to Circle, Like I said, not sure it'll work 100%. Some of the oh, that's awesome, Annie. Yeah, I like Circle. I really like Circle. I just wish they didn't charge so much. Like Circle is a really good, Circle is definitely a better option than Patreon if you have enough members. Like if you consistently have over 100 members, I would, if I consistently had over 100 members, I would switch to Circle. But under 100 members, the price point is a little bit too high for me. So, I have it set up on my website already. So if Patreon ever does decide that they don't like me anymore, I will just open up and just do it 100% on my my website. So, Patreon, they seem to have, like I said, they seem to go through their spurts, and I guarantee you it's, somebody ratting, it's you get a Patreon person who opens up their site and doesn't get as much traffic as somebody else, and they see that, we're doing contests, they're doing contests, and they're just not getting as many members, so they'll, oh, Patreon, he's doing this, you shouldn't allow this, I did think I saw that they made Jeff Williams change something on his. I don't remember what it was, but I did see 2 or 3 months ago he changed how he was doing his stuff. So maybe they finally started cracking down on him. So I use Circle for my garden page. Huh. Lucky Strike, I would still have to pay the fees. Because you still have to pay a credit card processor and all that. And I'm an original Patreon member. So when Patreon first opened, I joined them. So right now I'm grandfathered in with my prices. So I only pay essentially credit card fees with Patreon. So they don't really take anything out. I think I pay like an extra like $3 a month or $4 a month. Like out of all my Patreon members, I might pay like $5 a month. That's not processing fees. So if I switched it to my website, it would be a lot more, work for me to do stuff because it's not all an automated system. I would have to approve and do this and do that. And if things broke, I'd have to fix them. And to me right now, it's just not worth it because they're allowing me to use their website. No. And then plus there's also the trust thing. Patreon is an established business and people recognize it and know it. And it's easier to convince someone, hey, join Patreon as opposed to, hey, go join dylanswebsite.com. So, but like I said, I have it all on my website. I mean, I haven't obviously published it. It's not live and I haven't, filled out all the info on it and got credit card stuff set up. But I have the program on my website if I ever decide to move or do something. If Patreon ever decides to do away with contests, because that will probably be the next step. Oh, there's some more gold. Another little piece or two. Got a couple more pieces of gold here. So yeah, if Patreon ever decides like they want to do away with contests, which I'm sure at some point they probably will, because what'll happen is you'll start getting people doing contests that are, fake and they'll, that's the problem with anytime you have a system like this, eventually you'll get somebody that'll have like, 5,000 Patreon members and they'll do a contest and tell everyone, oh, everyone give me, $10. Now they just raised $50,000 and then they will not do the contest. They will rig it or something will happen. Everyone will scream and cry and be like, oh my gosh, you just ripped everyone off. And then Patreon will just say, okay, no contest, no nothing. And at that point, then I'll just switch. So. Blaze, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. I appreciate it. American Gold Prospectors here. I didn't see him. Chat's going a little bit too fast for me. But how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. Appreciate it. Richard McCarthy, how's it going? I got into panning. I'll tell you my story, but everyone else in chat replies. I got into panning just on eBay. I was buying and selling on eBay right when I was filing for disability and doing all my doctor stuff before I filed, actually. And I was looking for something on eBay, and part of the title was Gold Rush. And Paydirt came up, and I started looking at Paydirt, and I was like, oh, what is this? I was like, that looks like a fun hobby, because, of course, if you read any, it's kind of like back then, it was kind of golden Paydirt type descriptions, yeah, spend $20 on this bag of Paydirt and you could find $1,000 worth of gold. So, I bought a bag, bought a pan, and, saw that first couple pieces of gold, and I was hick. I've seen Kickstarter did that. Yeah, well, that's, like I said, any platform you have is going to eventually, somebody will rip off way too many people and they'll ban it, Even YouTube. YouTube used to allow, giveaways and things like that on their site. And then some big, million subscriber channel started ripping off all their members, because if you get a certain point, like especially on a bigger platform, like say YouTube, once you get to a certain point, like say, 500,000, when you get to 500,000 subscribers on YouTube, you will start gaining members without doing anything. Like there's been channels where it's been proven, like even when they've gone blank, like they've stopped producing anything, their videos are still recommended so much that they still continue to grow. So if you put if you have 500,000 subscribers and you did a live show and said, hey, yeah, a live show would probably only get, like 2,000 or 3,000 people watching. But if you ripped every one of them off for $5 or $10, the next time you did a live, you'd probably have 2,000 or 3,000 totally different people. And you could keep doing that for, months and months and months. And they have people that do that, So it's really big on, whatever that thing is, Twitch, not Twitch, whatever the, hold on. I can get my phone, I can figure out what it's called. TikTok. TikTok has a lot of people doing, and even TikTok and whatnot. Those are the two platforms right now that are just huge rip-off platforms. Because like I said, I do still follow a lot of Pokemon stuff and, shoe stuff. So almost half the shoes being sold on whatnot are all fakes. Tons of the slabbed Pokemons that are being sold on whatnot have been coming back. People have been resending them to PGS and all these other sites, and they've been coming back as altered. So the people are cracking open slabs and, changing them out. It's just crazy. So only sell a few bags around Christmas. I don't like selling my gold. Yeah. Jose, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. OTR Driver, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. And anyone, if I miss you, thank you for being here. I appreciate you being here and joining the live show. Charles King, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. Here, hold on, let me. Yeah, that's package total. Yeah, whatnot and TikTok are absolutely horrible. I mean, luckily, whatnot hasn't been, like the gold nuggets and stuff like that. I haven't seen anyone doing anything bad with that yet because there's only a couple sellers selling it, but eventually it will. But yeah, I've seen so many people getting ripped off on whatnot. It's absolutely crazy with slabs and stuff like that. And Blaze, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And someone else, who was that? Outfitter, thank you very much. I really appreciate that, both of y'all. And Donna and Jason, thank you all very much for the tips. I appreciate it. Lucky Strike, I agree. That's the problem though with whatnot is, you go on there to watch somebody. And it's one of those things you just start hopping around from channel to channel. And it's kind of one of those things with trust too. Like if you go on whatnot and you see 5,000 people watching a certain channel and they've got 4,000 feedback, you're just going to assume that they're honest because whatnot hasn't banned them. Like the biggest one is there was a guy who just got busted. I mean, he just got arrested and his whatnot account got closed. But he was arrested for selling Jordans that hadn't been released. And the reason being is because him and somebody else had stole an entire train load of the sneakers, and he was selling them. They were obviously stolen. Everyone knew they were stolen, and it was just whatnot. You could see his feedback was all these shoes are stolen, these shoes are stolen, these shoes are stolen, and whatnot didn't ban him, because whatnot's still making money. That's one of the problems when you have selling places like eBay and whatnot and all these places. A bad seller still makes them money. Like if you're selling counterfeit stuff, whatnot makes money. That's how they make money. So is Yukon Paydirt another golden? Post a link of it. If it's who I think it is, if it's yukonpaydirt.com, yes, it's just a ripoff. Yeah, if you go to millerprospecting.com, if you scroll all the way to the bottom, like if you're on your phone, if you scroll all the way to the bottom, I have link. They're not links, but I have a list. It's called Paydirt sellers to avoid, and I have a full list. And there's I think 2 Yukon Paydirts that are on there you have to avoid. That are just scammy. I mean, you will get gold, you just won't get your money's worth, Banana Splits, how's it going? That's the one. It's another golden. Yeah. Teo Explores Outdoors. How's it going, brother? Long time since the live. Appreciate it. But yeah, always check. If you see a new seller, always check. I try to update my sellers to avoid list as soon as I find them, or if you see one. But if you go to that list and, another little piece of gold. If you go to that list and you kind of click on them all, like there's UconPaydirt.com, BigNuggetPaydirt.com, Mountain something Paydirt.com. If you go to all of them, they all look the exact same. They have the exact same layout because he's using the exact same host for all of them. So he's just copy and pasting the exact same stuff in everyone. He's just changing the fake images. That's it. Because if you order them, you don't even get them in those bags. You just get a Ziploc bag with a thermal printer sticker. It's not even a colored sticker. It's just like a black and white sticker. So. Yeah. Yeah. Has anyone found anything from any of those ore samples from Mount Baker? Like a significant amount, like not like one or two pieces of gold, because those are kind of pricey. So, because I keep wanting to get some of his stuff, but I just, paying $100 to get $1 worth of gold, it's kind of fun to crush it and pan it and do stuff like that, but I don't know. I can't see losing $99, especially since I don't have a rock crusher and I have to do it all by hand. So snowed again. Yeah. Thankfully here it's starting to warm up, so I'm hoping that winter is gone. It looks like all my bushes died again in my front yard. All my azaleas. I planted azaleas like 2 years ago, and it was like $200 to plant them, and then they all died last winter. So I've replanted them again this year. And it looks like they all died again. So I'm just going to put a deck porch in my front and get rid of them all. Mount Baker is selling high grader for $250. Someone send me, if anyone has a link to it that has my phone number, send me a text to that. I'd like to see that. I fell for Mount Baker, got $3.50 worth of gold. Yeah, I mean, so far I haven't heard of anyone that's gotten like even a 10% return, because I mean, it's the same thing with the whole thing. Like, when you hear about people that say, oh, I've got Paydirt, there's no guaranteed amount of gold, but it's on rich ground and I know this spot is, a honey hole. If ground was really, really rich, people wouldn't be selling the dirt. Like if I stuck a shovel in the dirt and I saw $20 worth of gold, I'm not going to throw it in a bag and say, hey, I'll sell it for $40, because there might be $80 worth of gold, or just if I can see. And it's the kind of same thing with ore samples. If you can see visible gold on an ore sample, you're not going to sell it, because you're going to say, hey, if I crush that up, it might have a giant nugget inside. It might be loaded with gold. They're either going to test it with, it'd probably take too much time to be doing gravity tests on every piece. But, if anything has visible gold, they're not going to sell it. It'll be the pieces that they don't see any visible gold on, that's not in an area like, next to where they saw visible gold. And that's what they're going to sell, because it makes them money. So, yeah, that's what my understanding was. It's always going to be really low grade stuff. Like it's not going to be the rocks next to the vein. It's going to be the rocks on the other side of the wall that they found zero evidence of gold at, So you might find like one or two specks of gold, but there's a reason they're not mining that rock and he's not crushing it, because he has a giant rock crusher. So if there was any gold in it, he would be crushing it. You got to think, if someone who runs a mine and has a rock crusher, if it's not worth his time to crush it up and get the gold out, it's not worth your time. Now I would buy it. Like if you had them cheaper, like if it was ore samples and there were $25 and there was probably $3 worth of gold in, I would buy one to put on my shelf, because then it's like, okay, it's $20. It's from Mount Baker. He's got a great story behind his mine and all that. It'd be worth it. But not to like, pay $150, $100 for something that's got $3 worth of gold. But David Dandaran, how's it going? Yeah, well, I know nobody's going to find anything gold. That's what I'm saying, is if he thought there was any chance of it having gold, he's going to keep it. So, Just like when you, like, even when Dave was selling his hard rock, you would watch him. Like, if you watch any of Dave's videos, he's running a metal detector over all the material. And then he's scooping material up and throwing it in the bags to sell. You know, they were sending off to Harrington to sell. So you knew there was no gold. Now, he might have made the bags richer than normal, and maybe there was a, you know, tiny gold that wouldn't be found on a metal detector, but nobody was going to find anything big, you know. I'll sell you some rock in my yard. Is there a good story behind it? Because I can sell people all kinds of rocks from my yard because I got a sinkhole in my yard. Dylan, have you reviewed the Flower Gold favorite Miskimo's son Paydirt? He doesn't sell Paydirt anymore. I did. It used to be Blue Tundra, so he used to sell Paydirt under the name Blue Tundra, and I reviewed Blue Tundra before, and it was good Paydirt, but then he stopped selling. It was his son that was selling it, and they had a falling out, and you know, so they stopped selling the Paydirt. But yeah, I haven't. Tony pops into chat every once in a while, but me and him aren't on the best of terms, so you kind of, to get Paydirt out of Tony, I think you got to be Jason. That's about it. Jason's the only person that's getting Tony Paydirt these days, I think. Yeah. But if you ever started selling it again, I would definitely have somebody get some. So aliens land in my yard. Swamp Dog, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. But yeah, Blue Tundra closed, I guess, like 2 years ago. So it's been a while since he's been out. But when he was out, I reviewed him. Nowadays, like I said, Tony just makes special bags for Jason because they're really good friends. So, yeah. So Swamp Dog, Tony was providing the gold for his son. I mean, I don't want to get too much into it, but yeah, they had so his son was selling the Paydirt. You know, he was trying to help his son out because his son was sick. He was trying to help his son out with a job and stuff like that. And they kind of like, I don't think they saw eye to eye on how the Paydirt should be sold and stuff like that. So he just, yeah, he just stopped sending gold to his son. So the Paydirt stopped. Not a pirate, but I have a jar of dirt. Outfitter. Thank you, Donna, for dropping the hidden link. Now, again, everyone, remember, the hidden link will be dropped in a second. Make sure you stay till the end of the show, but make sure before that you go and you leave a comment on the hidden video, because at the end of the show, I will be doing a giveaway, pulling one name out of those hidden comments, and that person will get a spin on the Wheel of Treasures if they're still here. So, and as always, YouTube and its affiliates have nothing to do with this giveaway. It's 100% by me, just to give back to everyone putting up with me during a live show. Did they get screwed up? So my understanding is that a lot of people sent George gold on credit, and George never paid people. So I don't know for a fact, but if I had to, based on the fact that when Big Texas, after I put my video out about Big Texas, and Big Texas was doing his live for his last giant raffle, Tony was in the chat hyping up Big Texas and the raffle and saying I wasn't a good person for putting out that video. I'm guessing George owed Tony a lot of money. So, like, I've heard from a couple other Paydirt sellers that George was hitting them up asking them for gold on credit. So George was, you know, floating gold back and forth from different people trying to keep his business open, and, you know, we all saw how that ended. But Tony was in his chat, his live show chats all the time. So I'm guessing, he either, he probably fronted him some money, was trying to get his channel hyped up so people would buy stuff so he could get his money back. So, no, Madeline, no. Tony has the amount that he would have gave to George wouldn't have been enough to shut him down. It was just it was family issues. I mean, Tony's son is disabled, so it's kind of, it's always hard to like run a business from two different states, and that's what they were doing. He was shipping the stuff to his son, so you got all that cost of like even the dirt. Like he was shipping the dirt down to his son, the gold down to his son. And I don't think his son had the same passion for it that he does with Paydirt and gold and all that. And it's kind of like, because it's not a fun job making bags of Paydirts. It's kind of like, eh. Mm. Yeah. But Tony's a good guy. So he's a nice guy. So he probably, did unfortunately lend George some money or not money, but gold. I mean, I've heard from a ton of people that, George owed them a lot of money, bought a lot of Paydirt, never got it. So, it wasn't like, I would say George was probably about on the same level of money owed as almost lynch mining, probably. Because he had so many people that he was convincing that, even though he owed them a bag of Paydirt, if they bought another bag, he would put that gold in that bag. So like if you bought a 1 gram bag from him and complained, he'd be like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm behind. But if you buy another 1 gram bag, I'll put 2 grams in it. And then he would just never ship that one. So he was convincing people that he'd already ripped off to buy more. And that's not something lynch mining did. Lynch mining just kind of disappeared. George was actively trying to get more out of people that he already wasn't going to give something to. I kind of enjoy making the bags. Yeah, I mean, I like making the Paydirts when it's something unique. Like when I'm doing a really cool Paydirt, I don't mind doing it. But when you're just doing the same Paydirt every time, it's kind of like, eh. Yeah. But it is also, I love panning Paydirt. I love Paydirt. His son wasn't like part of the community or anything like that. His dad just kind of said, hey, by the way, do you want to make Paydirt? Yeah. Lynch still owes me $400 or $500. I know people add an extra 0 to that. And I know people, that's how George got like that much. I know people that add an extra 0 to that to George. Like I can tell you for a fact. So I know. So if anyone knows the Big George with his last raffle, most of those spots, if you look at the old raffle board, you can go back to his live shows. They still might be up there, but his old raffle board that I think it had like 1,000 spots or something like that. Almost all those spots were people that he owed money to. So that's why I knew it was going to be a scam right off the bat. Because I forget how many it was, but it was, like if it was 500 spots, like I knew 2 people that he owed vast amounts of money to that he had just given them free spots. And if you calculated like the number of spots and stuff like that, like if he was taking in $2,000 and he had $1,700 worth of prizes, you can't do that if, 1,000 of those spots were given to people for free, So if he didn't have money to pay him back, he didn't have money to give him a free gold nugget. So I got repaid from Lynch. That's awesome. I'm sure they did repay as many people as they could, just because they're, I'm sure at some point their payment processor got seized, because that's usually the way it works. So like if you stop shipping stuff, and you're using a payment processor, when you get money through your payment processor, usually you can't pull it out for a certain number of hours or days or a month or something like that, just to protect people. So I'm sure at some point they got so many complaints in that they just stopped paying him out, or he stopped going to get the money. One of the two. Like he might have stopped logging in just to take the money out. Like he might have just left and said, oh, well, I'm done with this. So then at some point they'll just start refunding people. The payment processor will, not Lynch. So I just did the Winter Bliss bag. Oh, that's awesome. I know. I'm trading for one, and I'm contemplating because it was supposed to go on my shelf, but I'm contemplating doing it for a Tuesday. We'll have to see. Because originally when I traded for it, that was my first thought. I was like, oh man, I haven't panned one of them out. I was like, I want to pan one out. So. Mm. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think Medley still has. How many bags do you have left of the Winter Bliss? It was a crazy amount with his raffles. Yeah. I mean, I saw as soon as he, like, like I used to talk to George every once in a while. Like, there's a few people like Paydirt sellers that I will talk to every once in a while out of the blue moon. And he was one of them. Like he would go back and forth, like he'd email me, ask me about something or, this or that. But once I saw he was doing the raffles, I knew, like when he first started doing his live shows, I can tell you, me and somebody else started talking about George and, not in a bad way. Like I wasn't talking about him, but we started discussing him when he started doing his live shows about the amount of stuff he was just giving away. Like for free. Like he would do a live show and he'd be like, oh, I'm giving you a hat. I'm going to give you a shirt. I'm going to give you a hat. And it was just, when you add it up, like I know the cost of these things because I've had priced out hats and shirts and all that. And I knew where he was getting them from because he was getting all of this stuff from Sticker Mule. So if you price it out, you're like, he just gave away like $100 worth of stuff. And it's like selling a bag of Paydirt at his price that he was doing, he was making maybe $5 or $10 off of each bag of Paydirt. So it's like, you can't give away $100 worth of swag, and sell 10 bags of Paydirt. You're even. And I know he wasn't selling that much Paydirt where he could be giving away, 2 or 3 times a month, hundreds of dollars. So then when he started doing the raffles, I kind of figured out that, he was just scamming at that point. Or it wasn't really, I don't think he was intentionally scamming at first. I think he was doing the pay Peter for Paul thing. Like he was trying to bring in money from raffles so he could pay for his Paydirts, and then he would tell people, oh, your prizes are coming soon. He'd run a new raffle so he could pay the old raffle people, and it was just, that always ends badly. So if there's a Valentine's bag left, get that one too. Y'all must think I'm rich. I don't have much money, which, by the way, I have almost no money now because last weekend I got engaged. So soon enough, I will be married. So all my money went towards well, it was a gold ring, but it also had a diamond in it that was non-gold. So, so yeah, my buying of Paydirts for my shelf is going to come to an end pretty soon for a while. Oh. Yeah, yeah. So which 100%, it was just their payment processor refunding people because once they seize money and they realize it's a crime, they'll just seize it. No. Yeah, well, they only have so much money. So that's the problem is with most payment processors, after you've been with them long enough, like a lot of times when you first sign up with a payment processor, they'll tell you it's 30 days, like net 30. So like any money you get, you won't get until, it's been sitting in there for 30 days. Or, a lot of processors now, they switch to once things get not only shipped, but received. So like I know like if you sell like clothing on like Depop and stuff like that, once you sell something, your payment isn't released until the tracking shows delivered. So, at a certain point, you'll have excess money in there. But as you get more and more famous and sell more and more like Lynch was doing, they'll start letting you pull your money earlier. But I'm sure at some point, like I personally don't think they held his money. I think probably Rhett probably just gave up and stopped going to pull the money out, and then they seized it. And, you know, why did I get engaged? Because I'm fond of her. Because I love Liz. She's an awesome woman. So we get along great. So yeah, you know. And I like hanging out with her, so I wouldn't mind hanging out with her more often. She's got an absolutely awesome daughter. You know, her daughter Caitlin will probably be shooting a video one day soon. A Gem Paydirt video with Caitlin soon. Yeah, but yeah, we seem to get along pretty well. Yeah. She can't resist my charm. This is Casey. This will be my third. So no, I did not learn my lesson from my first or second. She's been married twice as well. So they say the third time is the charm, and since we're both third time, so but yeah, we get along great. And we enjoy each other's companies. Our kids like each other, which is always a plus. You know, I like her kids. She likes my kids. So my daughter's crazy about her daughter. Like they're already sisters, you know. Here, let me see. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you can see that. So there's some gold in there, John. You know, I mean, I can't really count it because I don't have my spectacles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Like 25 pieces in there. Not too bad. And I don't mind being institutionalized. I don't. Like I said, we complement each other a lot. You know, like I like cooking. She does not like cooking. You know. She likes a tidy house. I like a tidy house. So yeah, I'm happy about it. You know, it's not going to be anytime soon. I think September, something like that. So we're not rushing into it, but you know, I wanted to lock her down. Yeah. And thank you for dropping the hidden link. So make sure everyone you go to that hidden link, leave a comment if you haven't already. We're going to be doing the giveaway soon. You got 0.5 grams. Where'd you get that from, Blaze? Which bags? 12 years here? Yeah. Yeah, my first marriage was a fellow bartender I married, and that one lasted exactly a year. My second one was we were together 15 years, so yeah. Yeah, so there's definitely gold in this. So some nice material. So and that's not bad. That's pretty good amount of gold for what was that? Maybe 3 pounds, maybe 3 pounds of material. It's probably 2.5. So, and there's probably more because I actually forgot to rinse out the bag. So, I'll do that off camera because I already cleaned everything up. So, I think Black Cat is closing. From what I understand, Black Cat is going out of business. So I think somebody said Black Cat is not shipping anymore because I think they're either closed or someone bought them or something. Reason. Yeah, I've been happily divorced for a while too, but now I'm ready to not be divorced. So I still have a 5-gallon bucket. That's going to be pretty good. 5-gallon bucket of this stuff. You know, some good gold in there. Modern Michigan. When's the creek drop? Creek Drop is next month. Creek Drop is next month. That's right. Creek Drop will be next month, the first, second, I think the third Tuesday of next month. But yeah, I have the Creek Drop coming out. I actually have 2 videos about getting gold not to float and stuff. They'll both be at the same time. It's going to be a double feature day. So yeah, John. Yeah, I love black cat mining. Half the pans I have in my stockpile of pans I have in totes and stuff like that all came from them, because they always carried like the copper pans, the metal pans. Yeah, I just dug out my copper pan the other day, but I would order from them, so then I'd order a couple other pans, even if their prices were like maybe $1 higher. I'd order from them. So. And if I think right, I think I want to say it's Black Cat Mining. I'm almost positive it's Black Cat Mining. They, for a while, you could get they had pans that were signed. And I know they still have them. So if anyone wants this, I will double check this. Remind me next Tuesday and we'll talk about it more, because we're getting ready to get out of here. But let me move around and I'll tell y'all the story in a second. Let me move away. Make y'all look at my ugly mug. All right, shrink down this. But I'm almost positive it's Black Cat. That a while back, a long time ago, like 5 or 6 years ago, they were selling gold pans. These SE pans, the original SE pans. They had green ones, and then they ran out. And then they started selling some. They put one listed up that had been signed by Fred from the Gold Rush show. And then they stopped selling them, because I bought one, and I have one somewhere in one of my totes. Or unfortunately, it's in one of the totes at my ex's that's no longer here. But I remember when they pulled them off the website, so I emailed them and talked to them, and they said they had like 40 of them still in a warehouse, like in their back, that they couldn't get to. So if anyone wants to reach out to them, but we can ask me again next week. I will write a note tonight to make sure it was them. But if anyone wants to email them, they might have a stockpile of old SE pans that were signed by Fred. Which would be an awesome find, to get those. But here, all right, let me pop out chat too. Let me do this. So, but I will double check this weekend. I'll go look, because I still have the link somewhere. I'll have to go look. So, first one's got to be sobered up. Black Hat took my money but hasn't shipped, waiting for package. That'll suck. I'm hoping, because if I remember right, they are slow shipping. But I thought I heard someone say last time we were talking about Black Hat that somebody had bought them, or they were closing or something like that. So yeah. If you know how to be married and get along, then, there's nothing wrong with it. They have people that don't get married but live together for 20, 30 years. Goldie Hawn and, her husband have been together forever, even though they're not married. Some people, you learn to get along with each other, and some people you just don't, When the wheel spin, we're going to be doing the wheel spin in about 5 minutes. So we're going to do that now. Here, let me get rid of the panning cam. John, that was some fun dirt. So you got a nice little bit. I'm going to save this for myself for tomorrow when I come down here to clean up. I'll pan this out just to have a little bit of fun before I clean up. So yeah, I'm not a fan of slow shipping either. That will drive me absolutely crazy. So Cockatoo Birdman Bill, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. So one last hidden link. I'm posting the hidden link. Make sure Nightbot will drop the hidden link. Make sure you go leave a comment. I'm gonna go set up for the giveaway. And as always, YouTube and its affiliates have nothing to do with the giveaway. It's just me. But this is the way it will work. I will go in a second. We will pull one name out of everyone who left a comment on the hidden comment, and then I will tell you whose name it is. And once I post that name, you will have a minute or two to then verify you are here by posting something in live chat. Once you post in live chat, we'll go to the wheel and spin, and you'll get a prize. It can be anything from a sticker pack all the way up to a Paydirt. We have gold Paydirt. I think we have 2 bags of gold Paydirt up there, maybe 3, as well as some other prizes. So a lot of good prizes up there. Some silver, you can win silver. Awesome. You can say you found, well, I've found wild gold before. I've had people send me dirt before, but now I've found wild gold from John R. Prospecting. So I always wished, I will tell you, my one wish for this channel was always that, if I wasn't, under my financial circumstances when I started this channel, and, I wish I could have kept all the gold that was special. That is my one wish that I could have done. Like buying a bag of Paydirt from Lynch Mining and panning it out and then giving the gold to my Patreon members never really affected me. Like, I don't mind that. That's, it's just gold. That to me has no special significance in that gold. But I always wished, like when I did bags, like say this one, that I could have taken this little bit of gold and put it in a vial and said, this was the John R. Prospecting live show. I've had bags of Paydirt, like Yukon Alley has sent me a bag of Paydirt before that was just her cons. It was just her cons. And that was like, I think like 6 or 7 grams of her concentrates that were just loaded. Like if I could have kept that and been like, oh, this is Yukon Alley's, mystery bag. But, just that's not the way it worked out. But at least I got to have a ton of fun panning it all out. So I know, John, I didn't email you back, but, or did I email you back? I think I emailed you back, John, when you sent me your list, where if you want, I will still, even though I know you're going to charge me too much because they're going to, Lynch ripped you off, I would still buy some of those bags from you. I would still buy some of those bags. Maybe not anytime soon, because like I said, I just spent a whole bunch of money on a ring, money that I don't have to spend, but so I will be very frugal for the next few months, but I would still want to buy some of that. I would still want to buy some of that Lynch Paydirt to do on a live show one day. So Bob Peterson, which Paydirt was that got all tore up? And how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. The Krampus bag. I panned out a Krampus. So anytime I make a unique Paydirt like the Krampus or anything like that, I always pan one out first. Sometimes I won't put gold in it. I'll just pan out the material. And that's what I did with the Krampus. I dumped some in a pan and panned it out just to see how it was. So I thought it was fun to Paydirt. I thought it was fun. And Liz, thank you for joining the show, everyone. Say hi to Liz, my fiance. She's in chat. But I did pan some out, and I thought it was good. I like the Black Sands I got. I got that Black Sands. Yeah, the Vulture or any of them, any Lynch Mining Paydirt. Because I have some on my shelf because I wanted some for my shelf, but now I want one to pan out during a live show one day. So I prefer if it was a guaranteed bag, so I would kind of know, because that's like. So when I do my Tuesdays shows, a lot of the time I will base it off of, because of my Patreon, like, I need X amount of gold every single month to fulfill my $79 crazy tier members, because they get X amount of gold every single month. So a lot of times, like if I do a review, like say if on a Monday I do a review and I know I'm only going to get a quarter gram, and then on, my next review is going to be an equipment review or something, I will know, okay, I need to get 5 more grams. So on a Tuesday, I might do a 3 gram bag, and the next Tuesday I'll do another 3 gram bag. So that way I know I get the gold I need. So Tuesdays are usually my fillers. So that's why I like, a lot of times, like the bags on these shelves for my Tuesday shows all have guaranteed gold in them. So I can know, okay, if I need an extra gram this week, I can, pop an RJ's bag up there. Like I have this Vendetta, I think next month, the reviews I'm doing next month aren't going to have a lot of gold in them, I don't think. So I need the Vendetta 5 grammer here on a Tuesday, to go through to make up that gold. So You could have melted the gold from the bags behind you and made your own ring. That would have been so much more costly. You just don't know, Casey. Getting a jeweler to make you a ring out of a lump of gold will cost you a lot more than just buying that ring. Gizmo was a great bag. Gizmo was always my favorite. So I'll have to look. John, if you email me or remind me, I will definitely want. Because see, I have the gizmos because that's why I wanted the gizmos when I bought the original one. It was the gizmos, and I bought a Lynch Mining, because the gizmos was always my favorite. But I would like to pan out a gizmos or something again. If these, I have to look. Yeah, the Vulture Belmonts were 5 pounders with no guarantee, but I think everyone knows they had 0.2 in them or something like that. Or was it? Or were they with 0.15? Were they with the 0.15 to 0.2? And then the gizmos and the black label were like 0.2. I mean, they were set amount of golds. He knew what he was putting in them, so. Which one's your Paydirt yet, Curtis? Oh, no, I don't. No, not yet. Yeah, I liked all the gizmos. I would tell you, I'll have to look, John, to see if your list. Oh, you know what I want, John? We'll have to work out a deal on one of your alpha bags. I know you have some alpha because alpha is one of the Paydyrts I've never been through. I've never panned out one of the alpha Paydyrts because that was one of the ones that had the copper in it, if I remember right. I just told everyone I'm broke, and now everyone wants to sell me Paydirt. Give me a trade. Why is everyone trying to get me to buy Paydirt now that I just told everyone I'm broke? Huck fan, how's it going? Yeah, I think I even said it in the video. I might have edited it out though, because generally when I talk during my videos, I talk a lot at the end. Like if you watch any of my videos, the last, after I do the reveal, once I get to the ROI part of my reviews, those parts tend to be about 10 to 12 minutes, and I cut them down to 6 minutes because I talk a lot during them. And I do believe I did say that I knew that I got a bad bag just because I already knew some people that had panned out some and I knew the results. I had people texting me and emailing me and telling me, dude, I found 1.9, I found 2.1. So I know I got a bad bag out of it. And I got my guarantee, and I will never complain about getting my guarantee. It was what I was guaranteed. So I did get what I was guaranteed. But yeah, I just wasn't fast enough. When he opened up the 1 grammers, I should have snagged one up, even if it was just in my name, to do on a Tuesday show and not do a review on it. But yeah, I'm hoping he comes out with them again because I know he still has access to the place. I know right now he's just busy trying to unload that giant rock of gold for $60,000. So yeah, most of the ones on here. So most of my Paydyrts, like if you ignore the ones in the black shelves, any of the ones on the wooden shelves, all those Paydyrts are either sellers who are out of business, they're YouTubers, or they're people in my top 10 on my millerprospecting.com, which is this shelf. I have Gold Nugget Sales, Bear Prospecting, Brad's Bucket, Vendetta Prospecting. And I still have some more to add on there. I have Gold Nugget Man. There's some more. Like I said, I can only add so much to my shelf every so often. I am poor. Liz could help with the show. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. Like I've said it a few times during the live show. I really did enjoy that Paydirt and his Mexican Paydirt that he put out a couple months before that, because it was old Gold Bay style Paydirt. His new Paydirt, he has nothing to do with. It's just somebody else is putting the dirt in, putting the gold in, and giving him his $5. He sold his Paydirt business, or he didn't sell it. He gave it to somebody who's running it and giving him commission off of every single bag he sells. So they're not really old Gold Bay. Old Gold Bay, you'd buy a 3 gram bag and you might end up with 5 grams. It was kind of like the original Yukon Alley. Old Dave Paydirt was just wonderful. Everyone loved it. It would come, like even the old ones that used to come in a burlap bag and you'd lose half the dirt. You would still find over the gram you bought. So you were like, man, how much did I lose in the box and down the street and everything else? So he was, he was just, original Dave Paydirt was much different than current Dave Paydirt for the last 2 years, until he came out with the Mexico Paydirt. And I think that was a little revival of good old fashioned Dave Paydirt. And then this Hard Rock was another great one. So yeah. Yeah, well, just John, I just want an alpha bag. You tell me whatever price you want, like overprice it. I mean, you know how I think the alphas were what 1.5s or something like that. Reasonable price, but I'm willing to pay more than it is. For a live show. I have some extra money or for a video or something like that. So it was that Krampus makes the water look like demon blood. Yeah, I like that Krampus. I used a source. I used a very special source for the black sands for that to make sure it was very silty and had the black silt. Then I used a very specific organic. I always make sure anything colored I put in Paydirt is organic, like it's real natural material. I never put fake material in any of my bags of Paydirt I put out, like the Krampus bag or any ones I've ever done before. If it's got colored material, then it is naturally colored sands. Like if I put red sand in something, it's real red sand. If I put green sand, then it's green sand. It's real natural. It's never dyed or anything like that. So yeah, gold pots. Hopefully, gold pots. I saw you tried to leave a message or ask Lucky Strike Paydirt where he gets his bags from, because that will probably be the next bag I add to my shelf will be the Lucky Strike Paydirt. So I want to add one of those to my shelf. So Mikey, yeah, I don't have to worry about that. So all right, John. Yeah, we'll work out a deal. I'll pay, like I understand, you can't get it anymore. It's got a premium and stuff like that. So we'll work out a price or a trade for it or something like that. So, but all right, let's shrink down the ugly mug. Let's go let me make sure, let me go get the link, all that for this, and we'll go do the giveaway. So then I can get out of here and go eat, But let's shrink down the ugly mug. Well, that's not it. This is it. And there you go. Best website on the interweb, Miller Prospecting. And again, somebody was asking earlier about Yukon Paydirt. If you go to my website, it will look different if you're on your phone, but if you're on your computer, it'll look like this. But if you're on your tablet, the sidebar where it says top 10 recommended sellers will be all the way at the bottom of the screen. So if you just scroll to the bottom, if you're on your phone and you go to millerprospecting.com, just scroll all the way to the bottom and you will see sellers to avoid. And this list, I try to keep update. I know who he hosts his websites on. He's got 3 different hosts, I believe. This seller owns probably 90% of these ones that are on here are all by the same owner. I know who his hosts are, and I can search his hosts for websites, and I search periodically about every 2 or 3 months. I search his host. See what websites have been added, and if I see he's added a new one, I just put it on here. But like you can see, he's got yukongoldpaydirt.com, yukonpaydirt.com, yukonpaydirtgold.com, and yukonpaydirt.gold. So these are all bad sites. You do get gold from people I know who have bought his Paydirt. You do get a little bit of gold out of it, just not worth it. You're going to get a 25% ROI, 20% ROI, and his Paydirts, I will tell you, the more you spend, the lower the ROI. So if you spent like $30 on one of his bags, you're probably going to get, $5 or $6 worth of gold out of it. But if you bought one of his $500 bags, you're only going to get like $20 worth of gold. That's how he gets everybody. They buy like a $20 bag, they get a 33% ROI. They see a couple little chunks of gold and think, oh, well, you buy one of his $500 bags that are supposed to be 10 times richer, and they're not 10 times richer. They're 10 times worse. So, but there you go. And the last two couple of videos, make sure you go check those out if you haven't. The Clash Gold Impossible bag. I will tell everyone, they probably know by now, it was actually a good review. My first good review of Clash was his Gold Impossible bag. It's a good video. The Clash Fool's Gold, you know, it's a Clash product with no guarantee. And then the last one, the Lucky Strike Paydirt, who is sold out, but you can go watch it to see my results. And then when he doesn't and he's not sold out, you can buy some. So, but all right, here's the Wheel of Treasures. It's there. We'll go through the prizes once we get somebody. Let's fetch names. Let me catch up on chat real quick, make sure. PA, what's up, brother? Scroll up, get in the hidden link. Yeah. Gunners, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. Ark Wildman Survival, how's it going? Thank you for joining the show. Appreciate it. All right. Bought a 1912 bag. I'll have to go look at those. Yeah, that's the one problem is I'm so broke right now. I haven't been paying attention. Like, even though I'm doing my daily ROI chart, I'm not really paying attention to new bags of Paydirt. So, no, but all right, let's pull a name. Now, again, if I pull your name out of here, you must post something in the live chat before the end of the show. Well, hopefully before. You'll have 3 or 4 minutes to post something in the live chat. I know it sometimes is delayed. So I'll give you up to 5 minutes to post something in the live chat, and then we'll go to the wheel of names and pull your prize. But first off, let's see who won. Good luck to everybody. Thank you all for joining the live show. I really do appreciate it when people show up for these live shows. I enjoy hanging out with everybody. I love panning out some new stuff. Thank you, John, for sending me this. A huge thank you to John R. Prospecting. If you haven't already, make sure you go subscribe to John R. Prospecting. Maybe one of my mods will drop a link to him. And I apologize, John, I didn't have a link running the whole time to your channel to get you subs. Next week, I will do it. But let's go. Let's see who wins. Maybe it'll be John R. Let's pick a winner. Eric H. Thanks for picking me, Dylan. Didn't you just win last week, Eric? Eric just won last week. Eric has to be the luckiest person on here. Eric won last week. So we'll do two, since Eric won last week, I'm actually going to pull a second name. So we're going to pull a second name tonight. Eric H. He's going to get a prize. I need you to post something in live chat. Eric H. has to be the luckiest person on this channel. I think he's won more live shows than anybody else. So we're going to pull another name as well. And HD. So there we go. Eric H and HD. Both of y'all need to post something in chat. I know HD is here, and I know Eric H is probably here. So we will do that. We'll look at the website until they post something in the comment. Let's go. Let me open up my chat to see them. Well, John, you're 100% rigged. You know when my mods win, it's rigged, so. And you know, HD won even after telling me that people's names weren't being approved and I had to approve them, so. All right, Eric H is here. HD is here. All right, let's go through the prizes, see what they can win. We'll pull names. We'll pull HD first. So here's the wheel prizes. We have a Anderson Coins Paydirt, mini skull keychain, Miller Prospecting gold-plated dime. There's 2 of those, 2 chances. A 1 grain gold bar. Those are from the breaker bars. The little packs where you break open and you could maybe win a gold dime or all these gold things. 5 grams of silver shot. This was from Alan Curie. He donated that. A 1 gram random silver bar, also from Alan Curie. Random silver $50, 40%er, a random 90% silver dime. 1.5 gram Franklin Mint silver car bar. These are pretty good. These are really collectible. The Franklin silver car bars. Those are really cool. Minor Baker's Paydirt, keychain, monocore, some other thing, Kazakhstan copper, a random gold back, a random $1 silver certificate, a PCGS presidential dollar, and then a whole bunch of sticker packs. So let's shuffle these up. We'll pull Eric H first. So thank you very much for joining the live show, Eric. Thank you very much, and congratulations for winning. Let's see what you won. So a 1 ounce copper round or a sticker pack. Just post in chat which one you want, Eric, and I will send them off to you. And we won't have to remove that. We'll just close it. And then we'll go. Who is? All right. And then we'll do HDs. So HD, let's see what you want. Eric, just let me know if you want the sticker pack or the copper round. And HD, you've got the same prize. So I rigged it, but I didn't rig the prizes, unfortunately. Y'all didn't get one of the good prizes, but thank you both very much for joining the live show. And I will send you either copper round or sticker pack. Just let me know in chat which one you want. Now we'll go back to the very best website. And again, if anyone missed it, if you've ever joined my Patreon, now this hasn't been updated. I do need to update it. There's a few names missing. But if you've ever been a Patreon member, I now can thank every single person who's ever been a Patreon member, even for just a month or two. I want to thank everyone who's ever been a Patreon member and supporting this channel. So this will always be on the website. I will leave this on here. So that way everyone will always be able to go there and say, look, I supported this ugly mug. So, but all right. And speaking of ugly mug, let's just make y'all look at it full size. So there we go. At least not a gold back. I would probably rather win the gold back than a copper round. I've always gotten a lot of copper rounds, so. Yeah, thank you very much, Tomcat. Thank you very much. And make sure everyone that you go and subscribe to John R. Prospecting. He does awesome reviews. He's on a ton of live shows all the time. John, great guy. Some good pile of dirt here, so. Thank you, John. Thank you. I appreciate it. And that was some fun Paydirt. It wasn't too loaded in mica. Like when you first put it in the water, you can see all the mica floating up and you're like, oh, it's going to be one of those fairy poop bags. But no, it was actually a really good bag of Paydirt. I liked it. It all settled really quickly, so it wasn't too hard to pan out. So I liked it. Blaze, I have people that have been here since the first show. I'm on, what is this, show 219? And I have people that haven't won and have been here every single show. So John R. has been here, I think, every single show, and he's never won. So it might take a while. The copper round's going to envelope too. I put the same. If it gets lost, it gets lost. Whichever one you actually want. So I just throw the copper round in an envelope and throw a sticker on it, and I figure, you know, if the postman steals it, they're going to be bummed out that it wasn't like a gold coin or something. All right, so Eric H has got the copper. HD, just let me know. But yeah. So, but all right. So next week, next Monday, I do have a video coming out. It's finally coming out. It's a month late, but I do have the switchback review coming out. I've already filmed a lot of it, so I just have to go outside the studio, set everything up. Yeah, prizes come and go in waves. That's how it's always been. You'll see the same person winning over and over and over, then you never see their name again for a long time. So, oh, no problem, Huck, if you want to. Just send me, email me. I just posted my email. Just email me. Let me know. We'll work something out. So it's Dylan at millerprospecting.com. So but yeah, so Monday I will have the switchback review finally coming out. Next Tuesday, I don't remember what we're panning out next Tuesday. It's going to be a longer show. So I think it's going to be a longer show because I shouldn't have my kids. But I don't know what we're going to be panning out next week. I'll have to look and see. But next Monday, we will be doing the switchback review. So that's a long-awaited one. I want everyone to see it. I already know how it's going to go. Kind of. I still have to run it through its paces, but I've already got my thoughts on the switchback. But next Monday, the switchback review will come out. I am a huge fan of Dream Mat. I like Dream Mat. I think Dream Matting is absolutely awesome. But you'll have to see my thoughts on the switchback I did watch a couple reviews about the switchback, so it won't change or influence me because it's not Paydirt, but I just wanted to get some people's ideas about certain parts of the switchback. So I dig my switchback. Good when you get a lot of cons. So but yeah, so the switchback review will be coming out Monday, and then next Tuesday we'll be panning out something. I don't know what, but we'll be panning out something. It's not yet I don't think it's not. Yeah, it's not close to Patreon live show yet. So, but yeah, John. Well, that's the problem is a lot of the reviews, I don't know. See, Dream Atmos just not like me because so far most of the reviews I've seen of the switchback, people were sent it. I mean, that's not, if somebody gives you a piece of equipment, you always got to wonder if they're going to really tell you the truth about, whether or not it got, if it's getting a review based on that. So I like my cleanup buddy. Yeah, I will tell you. So I had the cleanup buddy, I had the boss buddy, and I actually sold both of them. And I ended up rebuying the cleanup sluice. I ended up rebuying it because I liked it. And even though I sold it because I was like, I don't need a cleanup sluice, I don't need these things. Every once in a while, I think, well, it'd be nice to have a cleanup sluice to do stuff. And I rebought it. I really like it. I think it's a great system. I'm not a huge fan that it's 3D printed, but the cleanup sluice, the cleanup buddy, is much more solid than the boss buddy. Like I even said it in the review, the problem with the boss buddy is it's very thin, it's very big. And if you weigh them, they're both weigh about the same amount, which means it's got a lot less 3D material. It's going to be affected by the heat a lot more than anything else. So I really like the cleanup buddy. So I think it's awesome. For the cleanup for the boss buddy, since the boss buddy uses the adventure mat, I actually like their old system that they used to have. So you used to be able to buy just the header. You can still buy it where it's just the header box and then you just put it on something. To me, why spend, $200 on a boss buddy when if you have the adventure mat sluice, I think those cost $25. You can buy the adventure mat sluice head that fits right on it. And then you just put it on put it on a piece of plywood. Switchback is wonky. Yeah. Gen 2 mat is best for it. But all right, I'm going to get out of here, everybody. I need to go eat. I'm starving. But thanks, everyone, for joining the live show again. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for everyone who donated tonight. I really do appreciate that as well. But mostly thank you, everyone, for hanging out with me for the last 2 hours. I really do appreciate that. And hopefully you'll come hang out again next Tuesday. Anyone who won the prizes tonight, HD, Eric H., your prize will be going out tomorrow. And then again, next Monday, we will have a brand new video, and it will be this switchback review, which is a month late, but it will be out. So, but I'm going to get out of here. But huge thanks also to John R. Prospecting. Thank you very much for sending me this. Next week, I will put it in my Nightbot to advertise your channel, John. But thank you very much. But I'm out of here. Thank you, everybody. Have a great weekend. Hopefully find some good gold because gold is still at around $5,000. So later, everybody.